for getting back at a team that eliminated you for 2 straight seasons here. And what do you feel makes this year a different situation with this matchup coming up?
Sure. I think ultimately it's about, us being the best versions of ourselves on Friday night. We can't necessarily do anything that, we didn't do last year. Our guys prepared great in the off season for this moment right here, and we were able to grind out 14 wins, and we're excited to play in the national championship game on Friday night.
A question for any of the players that want to answer. Mount Union obviously has a great championship tradition. What does being able to play for the national championship again for Mount Union mean for you guys as players, and what does it mean as a program?
It's an honor. It's a privilege to play here, and what the alumni have built, and the standard they built that have come before us. A lot of our focus and importance is making those guys proud, and we know that just being here is not going to make them proud, but winning it, and that's our goal.
Matt, I believe you've been a little dinged up through the postseason, but had some snaps last week. How are you feeling, and are you ready to make a contribution toward things after that kind of few-week out situation you had there?
Yeah, obviously I was banged up, but feeling blessed to be healed up and ready to go and ready to help the team out any way I can.
And DeAndre, how are you feeling after last week? And tell me also about how you felt about seeing the next man up doing what he was doing out there in that game.
Yeah, health-wise, it is what it is. I'm not going to speak too much on that, but just seeing Tyler go out there and play the way he did made me extremely proud. I'm confident in whoever's at our position at running back will be successful, and we're just trying to go out there and execute, and we're confident in everyone that's going to be on the field Friday.
Braxton mentioned all of the alumni and the legacy of the champions that you guys have. What is the support network like from those guys for you all? How much interaction do you get from your alumni, and how do they, sort of help bring you along to this point?
Yeah, our alumni is great. Obviously, there's a lot of tradition, expectations, and standards, starting with the first national championship back in 1993. So, that's why I wanted to be the head coach at Mount Union when I had the opportunity, because I don't know any person or coach that would want to not be at a place where there are standard and expectations. And the only reason that Mount Union has those standards and expectations are because of the young men that choose to come to Mount Union to play football, allow themselves to be coached, allow themselves to be developed, and then that's why we got 5 great captains sitting up here right now, and we have the opportunity to go play for a national championship on Friday night. So we're thankful that we're able to have that alumni base that supports us very well, and we're looking to make them proud on Friday night.
Wayne?
Go ahead.
Wayne, your team plays a lot of passion. I clip up a lot of the different highlights week to week and see everybody with a lot of passion out there. But you especially seem to be, when the moment calls on somebody to be stepping up, you seem to be there and seem to have the most passion out there when that touchdown scored or whatever. You can see it on your face and through your actions after that touchdown. How important has this season, the success in it, been to you, and how much of a part do you look forward to playing in this game coming up on Friday?
The season, it's been great, but it all starts from everyone doing their job, from the offensive lineman to the quarterback passing, just everybody doing their job, locked in, being where they need to be able to make those plays. So, we put the work in throughout the week. Coaches do a great job preparing us, and, just come Saturdays, this Friday, we'll be ready to play.
Mason, coach talks about you guys being the 5 captains up here and takes the quality of men of you to help lead the team, because it's not just assistant coaches and coaches. Sometimes the message has got to come from you guys, either by voice or by example. Talk a little bit about that leading up into maybe even last week, getting into this week here, about what you guys talk about, what you guys are looking forward to, and how you keep yourselves focused and in check and ready to play the game.
I think it just starts with focusing and taking ownership of every single day of the week leading up to the game. We got to stay locked in every single day. We got to take advantage of every single practice opportunity we get, every single lift that we get. We can't look ahead. Every single opponent is been great so far, especially these past 2 weeks, and we know that. And you know, if you want to have the best shot of beating them, you got to take advantage of every single day you have before you actually get to go out on the field against them.
I think everybody here is at Stagg Bowl for the first time, but there are a handful of guys that played in 2018. What have you guys picked up from Jesse Vale or Edwin Reed about their experience in 2018?
There's a handful of guys like you mentioned, and also the coaches, kind of their experience. Coach Collins, our receivers coach, was talking to us throughout the week earlier, and I think he's been to 3 or 4 of them when he played here. So, kind of the biggest thing that he mentioned was just leave with no regrets. A lot of us are in our 3rd, 4th, 5th years up here, and this is our first time. So these don't come easy, and they don't come, often. So anytime you get a chance, and you want to make the most of it and leave with no regrets.
Have you guys been able to pick up anything about how to manage the short week and the travel?
I mean, it is what it is. I mean, obviously we finished the semifinal game on a Saturday evening, and quick turnaround when you get the film and start breaking it down, whether you have a familiar opponent or not. So the guys have handled that quite well. I think, resiliency, adversity, however you want to define it, these guys don't blink, okay? And we had a few guys that were on the 2018 football team, and then that fun thing, COVID, came along that allowed them to still be on the team. But I think ultimately, that's the elephant in the room. We haven't been to the Stagg Bowl since 2018, okay? These 5 men and others, not just these 5 men, but these 5 men were voted because of the way that they lead. We're back to where we want to be, and like I said before, with the opportunity to win a championship. And, we got a heck of an opponent that we're playing, and we're looking forward to playing the game.
We talk about, and this is for any of the guys, if they're the players here, we talk, you haven't been here since 2018, but I think that's a testament to your standard, that you've won the titles you've won, that we're talking about is 2022, so 4 or 5 years when you put COVID in there, that you haven't been to a title game. Well, there's some who haven't ever been to a title game. Put that in perspective for you guys. I mean, when you were thinking about a place to come play, going through the years of getting here, going through the playoffs the last couple of years, and finally getting here, just put that into perspective a little bit, just that type of standard that you get to play for.
I mean, it's a blessing to get to play here. I didn't come out here straight out of high school, and I had the opportunity to come here after my first semester, my freshman year, and it's been the best decision that I've ever made to come here. The standard that we always talk about, it's something that pushes you every single day, whether that's in the classroom, lifting, and then on the football field. And I mean, I think that's something that's just brought up through all the coaches, alumni that we've talked about, and it's there anytime you're on campus or you're in a football facility. And I mean, you just got to keep working to fulfill that standard, and we're just grateful to be here and hopefully get the job done.
Very cool.
Braxton, you've had a couple of exciting fourth quarters in Baldwin-Wallace, obviously, and then last week. What helps you stay calm in those moments where, fourth quarter and the game is on the line, you've got to lead a drive?
I think it's just our team entirely. We trust one another. A lot of us have been around each other for 3, 4, 5 years, so we do trust each other, and we practice those moments. So they're never easy and never like they are in practice, but it's just a testament from the offensive line and receivers and everybody kind of staying calm and just focus on doing our job.
Helps when you got a guy who can get behind for that defense.
Right.
Yeah.
Coach, I got a question for you. I know you like when I ask questions.
Yeah.
If any of the players want to contribute too, but how important, it's cliche, but but there's value to it. You go 1-0 every week, and you got to be. But how important, especially this week? I mean, you're playing under the lights, which is different. It's Friday night, which is different. But at the same time, to instill consistency and routine and you're weekly or daily or hourly, and how important is it to instill in the players to have that mindset, not to get caught up in like the freebies or even this different press conference or layout, and just laser focus on the game ahead.
Yeah, I believe Mason already answered that question, that, each day matters. And, we started this journey this year, but almost 1 year ago on Monday, January 10th, when they got back on campus. And, we talked about what we wanted to do and how we wanted to finish, and the work started right there. And we actually have a sign up in our weight room that says, grind out good days, this day matters. So, it mattered in January 10th, it mattered in April, when we were doing spring ball, and obviously the work was put in and the guys executed throughout the course of the year. And once again, we're excited to have the opportunity on Friday night.
I brought up a lot about how North Central stayed outside watching Mary Hardin Baylor last year for the longest period I can remember, the runner-up, staying outside and watching.
Sure.
I believe Coach Thorne had done it as kind of a lesson to them as to watch it and learn and, what that feeling is. I haven't asked you folks the question, did you watch the game at all last year, and did you get the same type of feeling just watching the game if you did in that situation? What did you do during Stagg Bowl last year?
Yeah, I'll answer that first.
Sure.
I watched a little bit of the Stagg Bowl. Obviously, disappointed that we weren't there, and it's kind of funny that you said that. One of my best friends, who was the defensive coordinator, Chris Kappas, we watched Whitewater, celebrate for 2013 and 2014 afterwards, and then we were able to climb the mountain and get on top in 2015. So. That's not necessarily anything that we talk about, because we can't do anything about that game from last year. This year, the present day, that has been our focus, and these guys have done a great job embracing that mindset. And the best thing about this is their leadership, how they've shown the young guys, and we're fortunate to have a lot of talented young guys on our team, and they have set them up for success in the future.
Braxton, what was your first impression walking into this venue, this historic venue?
No, it's sweet. And we thank you to Navy and for having us and for hosting this. It's awesome. I can't imagine how many pictures all the team has already taken, so it's pretty sweet.